speed up space just so we can watch this scene together. This is the one, the only one. For this day is the day I found out they kidnapped Chip's mom, and there was a shitload of things happening. Right? There's also that weird criminal that you saw. Same one that was talking here the other day, which decided to wait all the time to cross the street when it was empty. There's nothing else in the way. You presume that based on his behavior is waiting for a vehicle to pass, but no, he just was waiting to cross the street. Cool. Don't want to see it. So 6 seconds to turn on the sun. In fact, as from now, from what I am, this one. That thing was parked over there hanging against the wall for the longest time. It doesn't matter because you see it just waiting there after this vehicle passes, and then it stays there. Then to go. I honestly stopped paying attention. I was trying to solve my zipper. But I can say is before that it was just there for a while. I was just hanging against that pillar as I was moving files away. You probably was expecting me to do backup transfers and delete one file at a time, and then I just moved out that gigantic YouTube video down to the memory card, the one that is in my pocket. Likely the one that criminals access, but actually never the very criminal. Call it the poop man, if they do. Shit man. So 6 seconds. Video that they all seem to take a breath too much.
This is how long it takes.
Now, I know that the explanations in detail about the drugs that they're throwing me, overwhelming global explanations about all of this and how this crime plays out. This is the one that seems to be the most. Now again, you later don't take me for knowing how YouTube works. I don't.
Yeah, you can. Go here.
See the zooming on the phone? I can tell you it's this.
Speed.
The zooming.
Speed is very interesting.
No, it was done by me.
No, it's just one of many.
As I said, let's listen to what he's saying.
Yeah, you can. Go here.
No, here. I mean, not me. You're gonna understand.
See the speed? Speed is very interesting. Criminal is just one of many. See the speed? Also, they stock of trucks everywhere. Stock of truck and stock of vehicle. So, that criminal at that speed was how long it took when it turned on the phone. There was a criminal over there as well. I don't know if you saw when I started with a motorbike in front of the truck. There's a cow truck. And there's a motorbike parked in front of your own place.
It's a cow truck.
There's a bunch of clothes on top of that, including the pinky undies that you saw the other day.
See if YouTube has a better help for that than me.
There's a bunch of clothes on top.
Now keep in mind, some of those times I generally don't know. This time I would even leave it as a possibility that I said some of those things, given the simple fact that I always struggle all the time, so I cannot fully remember everything in detail. Not remember. I know that at the time when I'm saying certain things, it feels different to me, right? As anyone under the influence, right? But the issue is, I don't ever said something like a cow truck for no reason. I don't even know what a cow truck's supposed to be. I would say a dumpster truck because look at that why.
The pinky undies that you saw the other day. There's a bunch of clothes on top of that, including the pinky undies that you saw the other day.
Yeah, I see it. Didn't understand that. Didn't understand that.
838 HBA.
So yeah, we're talking about the closet man. The closet man.
Things in the back. Not sure if things around the criminal. That criminal. That point out first. That took that long to show
I mean, by this alone, you can notice something weird in my head.
Should I say free? Yeah. No, it's definitely free. Yeah.
No, it's not just the drugs, of course. This is the day they kidnapped Chip's mom. This is the time when I was expecting them to have stolen my other phone. So again, tons of things are in my head. But I'm saying some type of narcotic that they threw on me.
Yeah, 83888 Alright, for the criminal. Again, this showcasing that it's important for the videos. That's the opening you had. The phone when connected there, remove the battery, and then connect it again to try to power it up. And I kept putting it on and off. That's how much is hanging there. That's the space. That's one hinge. Okay. One hinge.
My head is fast.
The head is fast. Doesn't fit. The head isn't fit. So, for the criminals shooting the crimes, it might be one of the solutions you want is from this side, but most likely they actually went from the other side. And
again, for the time I was generally expecting to have they stolen the other
that's
phone.
how
That was inside of my thing.
Carried out this in all likelihood major crime. And
again, even then you see me saying in all likelihood.
With the phone turning on, saying the whole Motorola logo, which is funny because definitely does make me sound Motorola. So that's an interesting one.
Okay, so I remember that from memory. I don't know if that's really the me that I was saying. Sounds from this perspective actually kind of more like it. Maybe it was very under the influence so much that my voice sounded very weird, or they did something for my voice to sound weird. That dude passed out moving very slowly and had this random logo phone of the Motorola turning on, right? Because the other phone, the Hack Boy, is Motorola phone, and I was talking about phone missing. So I imagine that criminal that got notice of that probably a couple minutes prior thought there was a good use of his time. If he stopped everything he was doing too fast, he very slowly and played the turning on the phone exactly as he was passing through for me to find that weird. Keep in mind, probably know that there's a phase difference, right? So again, this random grown man, which seems to be like a middle-aged man from my memory, recollection, was just decided it was just something that, you do to stop everything that he was doing to pass here just to play that thing for me to think that he had something to do with the criminals that had stolen the other phone. Given that he didn't even know which phone it was, it goes to show how much knowledge he actually had if the phone had been stolen or not. But it wouldn't be even better evidence if he actually somehow had knowledge that there's something had not happened. You know that the guy we abuse every day? Yeah, we didn't steal his phone just today. And then would just be spread out this knowledge to everyone to know. Again, that's the very thing we say. No, they think here at this point you're just whining about a thing, when instead we're pinning down what is the case. In this case, what we're pinning down is everybody knows what everybody else is doing. They know about their crimes and things like this stuff to prove. The reason why he was bragging there was because of what I was saying. I say, but it was incorrect. He was bragging about a stolen phone the same day that I thought that I had a stolen phone, but didn't. Now, yeah, I think to a certain degree that not all criminals know literally everything that every other criminal is doing. It's plausible, but I'm saying is in general terms, they will know. What establishes that is that they will know about what I'm saying on my own phone. What establishes that is that I will know about that they will know about something that matters minutes and something that important. So that they go out of the way to decide to do so, probably tell each other, and then come here as no other reason than to be a marker. If that's the case, just for some funny, just like a shitty ass thing. Do you really think that they wouldn't have thorough knowledge for the other things? Just knowing, and you see, it's almost like the other criminals as they go arguing, hey look, this is what the bank does, just for fun. Imagine if someone imagine if that's for the bank, mostly for that, but also for the other people, they're gonna dive into and charge it. They have it window. Imagine if let's say some more different purpose, like to make money illicitly or something like that, right? So again, keeping that in mind, yes, he doesn't seem the most particularly knowledgeable dude, but he had enough knowledge to establish a couple things. And because of its action, it was just like a take a piss joke. There's nothing like real jokes. It's just like it goes to show how public those things are, right? So. Oh, and for that day, when I realized the phone was, you see me saying on the offline video, immediately even send a message to Tony saying that the thing was that. And then the next time I talked to Tony after that as well. I was on the fence about doing that or not, because again, the incriminating each other is better. I mean, they're not doing that for any lie. If they didn't know about something, they couldn't incriminate each other about that, right? But then I decided that the appearance of austerity takes precedent, so it's best that I would just guarantee that, because I'm lying and all those things over any extra Facebook over them just lying to each other, and then so
and it was turning it on that fast.
That guy is
it's funny because again, it was tapping on the phone, presumably before that, I just look at that time. What I know is that when it says the logo, it's not typing out. When it says the thing, because the phone is starting. And yes, it is because the phone is starting because it's the only one. Didn't put the phone in the ears, it's not an alarm, it was the starting phone. I have.
That's the guy who had one of the difference. Is to just YouTube. If that was the phone. They used to start that
also have another jingle that behind me. So I'm just pointing that out precisely because I said I also have another phone, and I think it is relevant that you get to see that, but it's up to you to decide what is relevant. I'm documenting everything for you to see, much like it is trying to prevent you.
So it's a huge nothing bug that they recording.
Everything. That's what you have to do.
That's what I thought. Okay. So when you have an actual other one that makes another thing, and this is just a huge nothing. Baby, what are you doing? So, okay, we can't make that one private now. That's really insane. And you're gonna notice the same patterns when you repeat for the clients. It's either gonna be something grossly out of context, like you just saw inside the mall, that chick didn't say. It's pretty weird if you just put out of context. So much so that one is already private. The one that is public is the screen recording, which also plays the video kind of like I'm doing now, but explains it. As well as those gigantic nothing bursts where there is essentially nothing there. Yeah. 19 views on this one. Yeah. Yeah, either way, I can't. I remember, even if I don't remember what I said on this video, I know what kind of videos I make, which are documented crimes, which means that if this is either one of those videos or I was drugged out of my mind so much by this place that would cause me to fuck up and do that problem. Either way, I'm going to check it. Okay, remember that one. Só que esse filme diz que eu did into her when she put herself. Don't know if I'm gonna make it some private actually. That's why they do this nowadays. But that's what they call it, yeah. So then I'm like, there's one else. You said you use it for times. I cannot listen to that one. Yeah, subtitles. When you talk about the subtitles, not that they all. You got document criminals in the bus stop. That's still relevant to me. Yep. So that would explain. I don't remember where. The rest is leaving here to the side. I think it's careful, right? It should be open. It was just going to be I'm so hungry right here last night. Notorious doesn't show the day that. Again, this is number 7. This is how the other one to prioritize the first. This one to prioritize the fucking 7th. Get into that one. Okay, so you don't see the ditch of her or anything else. And yes, her because of that one. She was definitely with me. But I remember that. And that's why I wrote that. Because after they did someone trying to stitch her. So again, some nonsense. But so yeah. Just pointing out that would be the video that would get the views, not the ones that you see someone teasing an animal, because you all know anything about YouTube, you're not gonna see the people getting outraged about animal abuse or anything like that, right? What you watch is a random nothing bug as well, and you have some bunch of nobodies in the fucking bus stop, which, and again, they're not nobodies. As I said, every one of them is very well described, and most of them highly reactive to it. I'm just pointing that despite of her, that's putting me off perspective from another country, that's just a bunch of shit. I mean, pissant. That way to phrase it again. Talk about pissant. Oh, talking about shit, excuse me. Not pissant. This one. I'm getting myself off. Again, I don't have much knowledge. I knew that he would generate some type of evidence against himself. You know which evidence would be. If it's because it's not identified, it's pretty cool. Yeah, but such identified. But I wouldn't have the chance. He would be walking that way. He would also bravely run away as he just did. He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't touching the phone. He was just dancing away, or staring forward, or doing something like that. Which at this point matters way more to me than that random face of a random shit he didn't remember anything at all about. Not even asking if he was punished. Punished for what even? So again, you would get a face and that would be nice. Do you dispute that that was a real human being? Now again, not a person. A person doesn't do that to another person. when talking like to the speeder that was flesh and blood, as of not AI or anything else, then what do you think the point is? What would you accuse it of? Parking? And we know he's involved in this, and it's important for speech and for this, but criminally, it's a different story. Now, that matters, because again, in the end, it's not like the type of land that laws taking this seriously, right? As you can see every day. So, maybe it matters a great deal to it. Well, it wouldn't matter if you had been identified, but what you mean? But yeah, it's not even like the greatest search, there are other ones before. No, said I? Which part is this? 6? That'll be the ship collection. It's gonna be another one. Ship collection. No. Well, that's not the most convenient thing. Ship collection as well. Also, track good, those are very like the maybe some genuine stuff. Now you think that of all the videos, now I'm gonna show you the 5th version of that. When I get the title, give me a second. Okay, very clear it shows this, but maybe it's just me. Okay, so just different app. Cool. Just wanna get something. When I search the other ones, also great name to be randomly suggested. Other YouTube should actually take notice. I'm sure that was definitely not picked specifically by criminals. So before opening the video, now pay attention to this, because most of the videos have zero views, right? Which means that before opening the video, they knew what video those were from my phone, the illegal access to my phone, and then they will be taking up those ones in particular. But again, great plan. Can you think a single flaw with that? I mean, sure enough, they don't have any control over the algorithm, and if a bunch of videos start getting views, other videos are going to get views, and all of a sudden, again, you don't have any control who gets suggested what, because they don't own YouTube. But other than that minor detail of their crime being exposed to people who are actually not criminals anymore, or being exposed to other people that just happen to no longer be only criminals, that's pretty minor. That's not a big thing to worry about. Yes, I don't want that. Yeah, I just, again, after living this long for this crime, don't think the solution would be this simple. And as I said, I prefer not to gamble if given the choice. Isn't me leaving the mall?
Heating up compared to the
so you already see the It doesn't matter though, because again, that's not for videos, that's sure. Yeah, sure. Where's that one then? Anyway, you know what? Then let's go. Okay, that one is available. Watching. So is this one. You can watch it by turning things. And that one is from there. again, you have to bear with me. In the cold, entire night. So, hope this was published. That's the best you could. I know, this is only 4 views. Keep in mind, this is after they put them on. And do the thing, before. Ok? And that is not good evidence as de merda compartilhando o que eles vão dizer de um pro outro. Vocês têm que conferir. O que eu tinha explicado como agora, e também esse vai ser mais um related as a short class. And that is the things going to be limited. So, again, if at any point you feel sorry for this and shit, you feel that you're not this and shit for some reason, all just follow this past few ones, back to the group. Start from checking everything inside of the money. That is not a face I recognize in the mirror. Particularly this way, you see how my eyes function in this? Shit for some reason. All just follow this past few ones, back to the group. Start from checking everything inside of the money. Yeah. From the faces to the... Nothing. To the it was busy. Put something on her, was the first day when she was small. She put herself, she was feeling me. There was also badness that is the very thing I was trying to prevent from happening. That being said, that's not my stat. That is not the stat of birth. You saw there's something else going from my brain that wasn't put there by me, and you can clearly see that with just seeing me. Okay. So, pointed before plain and simple. Now, do I want this speech to be on? No, prefer it not. I'm just pointing to you that even that, despite the things you can notice that they are not me, you can still see that way more interesting as far as any video goes than the other ones, which you nothing but them just walking back and forth. Wasn't this day? Was that piss and shit driver? Don't know, but it might have been this day. Just a second, baby. We're almost going back to the back. Again, something like this. And the other one is the one that's on the review. I want to see what this one is. So, hope this was published. It's the same one? The best you could. So, keep in mind, this is after they put them on. And did the thing before. Okay? And that is not good evidence as de merda compartilhando o que eles vão dizer de um pro outro. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, it's the same. I thought it was the same. Well, I suppose they erased everything that I just said. I told it shouldn't the same video. I mean, it doesn't erase what I said, he emphasizes, it makes perfect sense where those words, again, we're seeing this compared to the other ones. And those matter more. Those are far more catchy, though. And honestly, making private alone due to the sheer numbers would be good enough for me. Because I don't know if that's going to be the final date actually, but I'm not showing that to you. The entire day scroll chips mom thing, I think it's going to be its own date. That's not to be here alone, do this for myself. this is the point where I do wishful thinking. So if the part when I said about wishful thinking before sounded a bit too pessimistic, or like a better word, a better word. This should clarify what I mean by that too. Saw those videos because they are mostly uploaded when I'm pissed, trying to give responsive opinions, because even if I'm not, I won't upload to YouTube. And even if I would upload to YouTube, upload them as private to be released only in extreme extenuating things. Because again, it's me. In other words, I know the solution won't come from YouTube, but it's gonna come from the press. Now, yes, any person, just like any person here, any person watching that can just pass that to a news outlet. But even that, if we just see a bunch of messed up, shaky video or something else, how much does that help? Now I have those videos from last night, and now they are more generalized. Even those are not necessarily great, but that's the good ones for the massive explanation, the major explanation videos, because then you're talking about understand full context for things, right? The chances of those being the ones insane, plus the negative effect that the very criminals will be watching the videos about what I'm talking about, the criminals, particularly talking about the criminals, the guys are gonna help me in this. It's also another subject. Although again, the idea that the secret from them is also silly. It's just that when I'm talking about explanation, it's kind of like the concept of juridical. Don't remember the name, but essentially why you even confess to minor crimes in courtrooms, and that is designed to, and you expected not to suppress, try to coerce people not to talk about things in court. Basically, to promote free dialogue inside the courtroom. There's a name for that. Any lawyer who practices any trial lawyer know what I'm talking about. It's common in the US, I'm sure the other countries have equivalent. Same thing. Okay, so I try to do the best I can to express as much as possible, to clarify the way in the easiest way possible. Not always paying too much attention to minor details, accusations, or other things, especially things that might sound silly for the non-initiated over there. But to make it very good later, when you're just trying to understand and grasp this weird ass concept, but not fantastic earlier, when you have to decide what you believe or not, which again, make it not particularly good for YouTube, if for other mediums. YouTube. What happened here? You went up, that way stopped. Let's count how many times the exact same action, right? I don't know if it was interrupted by them or if it just natural when it's close. Again, very hungry since yesterday, but at this point I cannot even feel my hands to pick up the food. I just wanted to keep that in mind that now it's 6:50. According to what Johnson said yesterday, we'd be expecting this point from me to, he didn't actually say this point, he said when he arrives, to be removing the things. Before he even says much to say by he arriving here, there's supposed to be nothing there. But you have an idea, I'm so hungry, and I'm choosing not to eat. Not because of this, I can just put the phone on the ground, or even bring the things here, but just because they cannot stay here because the amount of drugs that they can throw in the air. You notice that they're drugs again because the cold is coated in some type of liquid. So, again, keep in mind, it's very likely that temperature is not the only factor, although to be fair, as a factor, it will be this many degrees, and then you have slugs. Because if you remember when I went downtown to buy gloves, they saying that the gloves were in short supply. And as I said, tomorrow is when it picks up again. Say 16, then 17, and it'll be rainy. If you remember that one. To be honest, going to those videos is a bit easy. I think probably would possible for me to just go one by one. It's easier because I'm not alone doing it yet. But it comes with a price, if you just saw that. That's the price right there. I don't know if I can afford that price. So alone again. Yes. Well, not quite alone, as you see. Minute. Maybe it was here a minute ago. I wish I was closer to him, but I had to finish this. I was closer to him before. By the way, the baby left in the middle of the night. He showed up later. He doesn't even inside the bag with me. Yeah, YouTube is not on load. I'm even going to copy the link. Because the VPN. I don't know why the VPN doesn't load on YouTube, just no it doesn't. I'm quite sure it's just on my phone. My phone is just not a phone. Or better, a sign of a crime being committed. Okay. That is actually very likely very positive because it helps you see what they're doing. There you go. I knew it. See how it paused? It's very likely that they are gonna do some type of fire now. There you go, I knew it. Just as I said, second is a new one. Maybe this is one of the new ones. No, he's from yesterday. No, actually never mind. It might look like it did, but it didn't. There was the fire, there's film after. It's very likely by then the fire didn't exist yet when I started the video. So no, I was wrong. I knew it was going to set a fire when you slow down like that, but I generally believe they was just going to... It had been interrupted. It didn't complete its task. It's the thing now. It was just interrupted. I'm waiting also to see if the sun pops up. So when the sun pops up, we're going to go to the back so it can stay in the sun. I thought the sun really reached here as well, I think. Yeah, but as I was saying, much to this alone. You need to talk and show and be productive as you can see. And again, this is the lowest resolution and the lowest mode possible. I can actually show this there. What should we say? No, that's not page. This is 240p, even lower than 240p normal, because 240p is 240. No, it's a bit higher, or even then. And with I think 25 or 24 FPS, plus as the settings go there, the lowest quality possible. And I'm trying to understand if I don't move this screen too much, because it saves a bit of saves a lot of space, in fact, because of how the codec. To do shit crimes, so again, never stop. We didn't have the ways of organizing this. I'm not going to be trying that today, and be advised, my mind's going to deteriorate soon when this is a drug for me. They're going to cold drugs for me. But they're going to throw other types of drugs for me. Okay. So I'm going to slow down. forcing myself to stay here, or else it's going to disappear again, and they won't know. Several times I would just assume it was finished, but then when I look up into it, it is there, and it's not finished at all. You know what happened? Well, forcing myself to upload this into YouTube, and then to online, and then delete it, because we don't have the space to keep it offline. This got another one here. I'm not use that because so if I don't know the date that I mentioned before, that was the 4th. This 4th. I don't want to show in this because they already easy enough to find, but they are extremely easy. But between the 4th and the 5th. And I was doing something like what I'm doing right now on the backup. No, I was doing a video game. I was doing backups I think before, but then I was playing video games. But it's still those video games because video games are remote for sure. And then all of a sudden this decides to walk down in the back, and as I do, you see what happens. You're right. You know that. But the most important evidence in that day by far is the attempt to deceive through the digital crimes. When you see in a smooth audience, anything that is wrong, and you see what makes no sense, which is something you never saw in your life, including bodies, everything they've been talking about from the start tonight and everything else. And the sheer reaction of shock. I didn't know if the guy was about to assault me physically. I didn't know if he was going to be in a fight. I didn't know anything. I knew it was done in the corner, something that I thought was the cats playing around in the background. All of a sudden turned out to be a criminal substance in our thing. Exactly as I determined they do. I just not everything, right? But throughout this time, periodically, almost every week, the racial perspective. We saw that the other day what happened in there, one thing I understand. What was it? The beautiful time. What was it? The Johnson crime, and he torn down the fence and make the giant pyre there in the middle. Again, you can look at the ground. That thing in the ground didn't exist before, so it was something so out of uncommon, out of proportion. They left a mark that doesn't go away. Come rain, go rain. Which again, imagine Lord might have a little bit of a saying this, but you know. We are just making sure that everything is online. So I'm finally notice, actually got two, but I'm not doing screenshots now. Absolutely chilling. By far the coldest part of the night is the morning, the early morning, right? Because the sun hasn't time to heat up here. And technically it's still cooling down. And in the morning also have a lot of wind because that's nature, that's the meteorologist. Why? So, by and large, the coldest part is the coldest feeling part of the day. In fossil for 27 times, different times, as I mentioned yesterday. Because if you see the full picture again, no harm is done to it. It's because of the hint I probably would know, as you normally would address a human being. A male, human male. Very true, very simple. And no harm done at all whatsoever. Everything's alone. Wow. Particularly later that at the end of the show, 1 hour more, 1 hour less wouldn't make any difference. That's the point. That's the actual key idea. 1 hour longer there wouldn't cause, particularly in a cold day, what the fuck? You saw how the temperature already rising up. It would come up with something that isn't essential in a day like this. And notoriously, it didn't. Up to now. And today, I already mentioned that yesterday, you saw how they react to me, that they wouldn't have any value as evidence to it. If it doesn't, it kind of does a little bit, but if someone does show up, it doesn't matter that much. What matters is no reasonable person would give an existence of it. Even then, the chance of that happening is mediocre compared to the harm it's causing to me, causing to the cat. Keep in mind, Chip didn't have a house at that point, but mostly causing to me, as a human being. And you see that. So for something gratuitous, which is quite literally just turning a blind eye and not caring for 1 extra hour, 1.5, who cares? Two. And that's what I said. The reason that isn't the point. The reason is they want me out. They want me suffering. That's an active choice. That is deliberate. And you see that on its choices, with several one of his own words. Last year, you see that very commonly. When things like, when you're going to clean up the things to move out, and I was literally having the boxes in my hands, and I said, doing it. From the berating to, as I said, 2 times when I saw individuals confirm that I noticed visual. I think that it was 3, but I don't remember the other one it was. But right now, 2 times that I definitely remember having actual evidence of criminals assaulting me there in the middle of the night. I think there was another one before, but of this, not evidence after, but evidence on the moment. One of them was these times. I think that it's even more than 3, but I'm saying right now, 2 didn't come to mind. One was the one, but the last one was this last one, the 4th to 5th of April. The criminal was there, literally doing the very thing that I said, with a phone on top, with other things there, and goes straight to the bag with the evidence. Was that? Second one, technically the first one chronologically, was the criminals that went there as I was listening to what happened during the night one day. Coincidentally, I stopped on a point when there's someone interacting with me, and I listened to that, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I couldn't finish listening because I panicked and I just wanted to see if someone was during the night. And I come here running to say, hey look, some guy just went there in the middle of the night. I heard a voice of someone just bouncing my body, and I hear myself making noises after as if he was talking to me. And which, by the way, they poke someone asleep, some people make some noises. You can clearly notice that on this video, on this audio. There's an audio, it's a little guy. I could distinctively notice that someone that I was just making noise down to someone reacting to me, and can physically hear it bumping onto me, and I'm saying some nonsense in English. And it is nonsense in English, right? Again, English is a language. You can translate those things. And it is essentially just nonsense. There's something about something else. But I think it was a mid-sentence about something historical, like me, I keep doing this historical explanation. It's something mid-sentence, what I was dreaming about. And his response to it was a very drug addict sounding, yeah. And then, that was it. That's how the interaction started. Okay? No reasonable observer, ages 6 to 160, would think that was not what he actually was. Period. Okay? That's what I'm saying to you. And that wasn't mean shit. We need to understand actually the facts, understand the evidence. The point in that though, but this is for the space decided to disappearing from last night. Not the space is granted, was disappearing was data presumably. And I run in here and I'm desperate and I'm like, hey look, just realized someone touched my body while I was asleep over there for no reason. In front of the cameras and all that. And his first thing he says to me is something like, have you showered already? I shit you not, that is video evidence of that. And he saved it, and he's the files. I don't know which files it is, because I don't fully remember the day. But it showed me that, so I'll be on the special folder as well. It should have been the special folder. And that's it. Like, literally, I arrived just figured out the other time, and this guy is also fully responsible if I had taken a shower already. And again, I don't often do this. I sometimes ask to check, hey, can I check on something? I think there's something weird. But literally started by saying, no, today's different. I literally heard on an audio someone going there to assault me and touching my body as I was asleep. So keep that in mind, okay? At any point they say anything else in variations of this was documented. This was seen by every single criminal in here. Every single criminal like those you just saw reacting to the videos. As you saw the guy on the phone. You saw teenagers in the buses several times saying a bunch of stupid shit that you only know if you know about details about this crime. All those guys would have heard that, seen the reaction that I had, see the outrage that I had, see the way that I was trying to express this, everything else. Conditioning comes and goes. In this day, you can clearly see how I was sedated, and they threw number one there, and my reaction on noticing that was to immediately ask its reaction to that was to ask something that is none of its business and nothing else. But you notice the pattern of dehumanizations, right? The smell, the other things. Pay close attention to that. So, again, that's why I addressed you also by name in all those videos instead of just mentioning more discreetly, which you do to anybody else. You notice that only confirmed criminals are addressed directly. Talk about criminal fortunes tomorrow daily, Lamp daily, Visac Bus Company daily, which by the way, I should have said that. I thought about that as I was waking now, but it was best that I didn't. It was like, dude, the bus company has so much down their plate as of now, and it was very useful that you saw there's an admission by that driver to say things to the bus company, and notice the tone of voice and the look. You didn't get to see those because they're high resolution as well. I really hope I did. I also notice how my body's starting to compulse now, and I've been talking for a long time. Yes, it's colder in the morning, so perhaps they were not actually that much colder drugs now or before as much as they are now, or maybe even they start throwing them now. I mean, it's difficult to notice cold drugs in an already cold day, but for what you saw, its reaction that you do, and it was very wise that it chose not to, because it keeps very professional, and it allows them to just incriminate themselves, kind of like a cop, right? Don't react to the dumbass perpetrator trying to provoke you. If you don't react to that, that's fantastic. That destroys what his defense lawyer can say, and just keep it professional. Even saying what's documented is good enough for two-party consent. Not really the thing, probably not even the requirement for that, but for what's given to the press, again, see, the entire mindset functions as it is given to the press. Yeah, I'm quite sure that BBC will be sorely concerned that there's evidence, it's 100% legit, at least it's my choice, it's my end. I don't know if they tamper with it, but at least my end goes 100% legit. A major news outlet, while documenting a war crime like this, is going to be sorely concerned, severely concerned about technicalities of Brazilian law while funning through it. Again, being legit, being the point. So again, I'm talking about being tampered with or a lie or something similar. So it has to be truthful. But if being truthful, I'm quite sure that they're going to just change an entire approach to it if it doesn't quite please the law criminal officer, as I said before. So the entire approach is things that I don't even thinking. Molded under the model of relying on the press to divulge this. And again, they can sue them. They can sue them in British court. I'm quite sure again, any British court is gonna take it or criminals deeply in consideration. After all, who cannot have privacy or committing a war crime? They don't believe they have privacy for being me. Me is the reason not to have privacy. Like standing all me. Remember the thing for the cops to stop me the other day? Standing while me is a notorious offense. More than enough reason for public cause. Talk about that. I actually want to upload this, both YouTube and to the other one. So, yeah.